We're deep in Modern Horizons previews, and today we've got some seriously competitive cards to talk about. Modern, Commander, and even Legacy is about to get shaken up. I do hope you're enjoying our Modern Horizons preview videos, and if you are, please be sure to hit that like button right below the video. Helps out a lot. Let's do this thing. On Thin Ice, great name, is 1 white mana for a Snow Enchantment Aura. Enchant Snowland you control. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until On Thin Ice leaves the battlefield. I love this card. What flavor? This is Chained to the Rocks, except the exact opposite flavor-wise. It's freezing and in the middle of ice-cold water instead of on a mountain in the middle of the desert. Enchanting a Snowland is very narrow, but it'll be solid and limited for sure, and there's really no reason not to run Snowlands everywhere else, at least to me. I enjoyed that Wizards is very clearly pushing snow as a theme for constructed play, and I can't wait to see what else they have in store. Until then, this is a quality removal spell, especially if your opponent's land destruction dodges basic lands. Just a thought. Valiant Changeling is 5 of anything and 2 white for a 3/3 shapeshifter with double strike. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature type among creatures you control. This effect can't reduce the amount of mana this spell costs by more than 5. It also has Changeling. Wait a second. So that means that if you already have a Changeling creature on the battlefield, which is every creature type, Valiant Changeling is a 3/3 double striker for 2 white mana? That's so good, that's amazing. It'll obviously take some sacrifice and deck building to make it happen, but if you want to do something gimmicky, Changeling Outcast and Moth Dust Changeling both cost 1 mana, so if you can find a way, double striking 3/3 cast on turn 2, gross. Mistclan Naga is 3 mana for a 3/1 Naga ninja with ninjutsu for 3 mana. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of it. Ingenious Infiltrator is 2 of anything, 1 blue and 1 black for a 2/3 Vidalcan ninja with ninjutsu for 2 mana. Whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Yes! I'm talking about both of these cards together because they're what I've been asking for, substantive ninja support. We knew that ninjas were going to be a sub-theme in the set, but I didn't know if they were going to take it seriously or not. These 2 cards are great indicators. Both of them are very powerful, making clones and then granting a blanket cantrip. These are mechanically sound, beefy ninjas that the tribe needs to succeed in Commander. Reliable and strong ninja were few and far between before the set, but thanks to cards like these, the tribe will live once more. Dang, I am loving this set! Dead of Winter is 3 mana for a sorcery. All non-snow creatures get -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of snow permanents you control. Welp, we're clearly diving deeper into snow territory, and this card is great as a payoff for the dedication to the snow theme. If you have 3 snow lands, 3 mana for a blanket -3/-3 is actually decent on the face of it. If you have even more, devastating. It's going to be interesting seeing how players incorporate snow into their constructed decks in an attempt to make fairly costed cards like this work, because again, if you can afford to make the sacrifice and load up your deck on snow, Dead of Winter is backbreaking. On a completely separate note, look at that artwork, look at the flavor text. At last, silence. Beautifully haunting. The entire card, it's haunting. Endling is 2 of anything and 2 black for a 3/3 zombie shapeshifter, excellent creature type. You can pay 1 black and it gains menace until end of turn. You can pay 1 black and it gains death touch until end of turn. You can pay 1 black and it gains undying until end of turn. You can pay 1 of anything and it gets +1/-1 or -1/+1 until end of turn. So it's finally happened. We have Brightling, Morphling, Torchling, the green one that doesn't look like the rest of them, and now finally Endling. The cycle is complete again, except that random shape-shifting rhino in green. Endling is fairly costed for what it does. 4 mana for a 3/3 with 2 relevant combat keywords, another keyword that brings it back to life, and the classic power, toughness, flexibility. All these abilities scream black. It's an excellent addition to the cycle, but unfortunately Modern isn't the place for this. Commander is. It's a friggin' zombie after all. I'd put this right into a zombie Commander deck. It's a great standalone card and just gets better with more lords around it. Nice. Scale Guardian is 5 of anything and 2 red for a 4/4 dragon with flying and haste. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each land card in your graveyard. Then we have Ruination Rioter, 1 red and 1 green for a 2/2 human berserker. When it dies, you may have it deal damage to any target equal to the number of land cards in your graveyard. Is this Lord Wingrave's version 2.0 and no one told me? Is this what's happening here? I actually really like self-land destruction as a theme, and I'm giddy that it's in the set, but wow, is it being embraced? Those of you who enjoy playing this type of strategy in a format like Commander especially, you must be jumping with joy right now. Pashalik Mons is 3 mana for a 2/2 legendary creature goblin warrior. Whenever Pashalik or another goblin you control dies, Mons deals 1 damage to any target. You can also pay 4 mana and sacrifice a goblin to create 2 1/1 goblin tokens. Well, hello there, Mons. Remember the goblin raiders of old? Yeah, this is the Mons. Very cool. Looking at playability, a bit slow for modern, I think. 3 mana for a 2/2 is definitely not what you're looking for on turn 3 without being a lord of some type. You're losing a lot of turn 3 potential damage. And while that may be made up with the gross on death trigger, sometimes it won't be enough or not fast enough. Now if we're talking commander, Pechaluk makes a solid goblin leader candidate. I know there's the obvious Krenko, but Pechaluk is neat. It has that Slimefoot-like trigger and can trigger itself while creating more goblins at the same time. Feels like a planeswalker a bit. If you're looking to change things up as a goblin commander player, this could be the shakeup you need. Regardless, auto-include in any goblin tribal deck in that format easily, no question. Throes of Chaos is 4 mana for a sorcery, Cascade, Retrace. Wait, that's it? Oh my goodness, what a card. I never thought I'd see a card like this. No actual text, just 2 mechanics. You cast it, it immediately cascades into something for you. But the real value of this card is Retrace. You get to cascade again by discarding a card and recasting it. So simple, so efficient, so awesome. Can you imagine a game that's just full of you cascading into nonsense and then doing it over and over again while the entire time filling up your graveyard with lands? Talk about an enabler. This is going to give you more land fodder in your yard than you could ever know what to do with. Phenomenal design. We found Chaos Incarnate. Who knows what's gonna happen? I sure don't. Crashing Footfalls is a green sorcery card with suspend 4 for a single green. Create 2 4/4 green rhino creature tokens with trample. This is hysterical. I love these kinds of cards. Cheap investment and then eventually huge creatures to deal with. What an interesting effect. As has already been pointed out, this card exists to be used by the likes of Electro Dominance and Finale of Promise, not to mention the Cascade mechanic in general. Some players are okay with letting suspend run its course, like those who play Ancestral Vision and Lotus Bloom, but Crashing Footfalls isn't the kind of card you want to wait for. Using it in conjunction with these shortcuts can lead to dominantly aggressive plays in Modern. Seriously, I know the format is full of strong cards, but 2 early game 4/4s, lots of strategies can't answer that all at once. I'm loving this design. I can't wait to fiddle around with Flash Rhinos. Kaya's Guile is one of anything 1 white and 1 black for an instant, choose 2. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, exile all cards from each opponent's graveyard, create a 1/1 white and black spirit token with flying, you gain 4 life. You can also pay an extra 3 mana and choose all abilities. Okay, Kaya's Guile is like a jacked up cryptic command and it is very good. These are some excellent modes and they will be perfect for Modern, think about it. Forcing opponents to sacrifice creatures messes with Infect, Bogles, tons of creature decks. Exiling all cards from opponents' graveyards messes with literally any deck that uses the graveyard for anything, and gaining 4 life has value against super fast decks. It's a nice second mode to cast against mono red if you don't need to exile a graveyard. I think this card is exceptionally strong, and I expect it to see play in Modern for sure. In a format where your sideboard choices pretty much mean everything, a versatile card like this will shine. Hall of Heliod's Generosity is a non-basic legendary land card that you can tap to add 1 colorless mana. You can also pay 1 of anything 1 white and tap it to put target enchantment card from your graveyard on top of your library. This card is very good. It is so strong. We'll begin with Commander because that's easiest. Enchantments don't die as often as other permanent types, but when they do, it's devastating. This Hall means Nevinyrral's Disc doesn't have to end the game for you. In Tavasa or Estrid or even something like Ural, Hall is going to bring back the highest priority enchantments. Enchantress's Presence, Smothering Tie, Sterling Grove, Privileged Position, imagine it. Having a card that will keep bringing these back again and again and again forever. You don't have to sacrifice the Hall to use it, it's just there with an incredibly cheap activation and a color identity every single enchantment deck agrees with, and this is just Commander. Have you thought about something like this for Legacy? You can bring back Choke, you can bring back Blood Moon if you hate yourself that much, Sylvan Library, Back to Basics. These are all highly played enchantments in that format, and being able to just use a land to bring them back, we're talking Academy Ruins for your enchantments. Mark my words, in a few years, this stupid thing is going to be so expensive. It's a nuts card. Another day of Modern Horizons spoilers down, and boy oh boy do we have more playables. I think we're looking at more Modern and Commander goodness along with a surprise Legacy soon to be Star. This set is shaping up to be a crowd pleaser no matter which format you're into. I've been loving every second of this, but I need to know how you're all feeling about it. Are you as excited as me? More or less? What are you still waiting for in the set? Is there something you need to see to make you go head over heels for it? Hit me up. Comment down below and let me know what you want. Also, if there are specific deck requests now that we've seen a lot of the set, ship them down below and vote up others you're interested in. I'll do my best to make them happen, and as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. Modern Horizons booster boxes are pre-ordering on TCG Player right now for $214 each. If you want to pre-order your boxes from a great site that helps the channel, you've come to the right place. If you don't have a local game store or yours is charging way too much, just click the link on the screen. Give yourself a gift. Helps the channel out at the same time. We all win together, which means we get to have a giant party. Just all of us. You know what? I'll host it in a giant stadium. Everyone can come. Bring your families. You can all get free cars so you can drive there or free planes to fly there. It'll be in New York City, free drafts of Alpha. Just click the link and you get all that for free. Yep, definitely. You totally get that. Enjoy.